Hi, everyone, and welcome to this special episode of the Wake Up Call podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. I'm an intuitive and energetic business and leadership mentor, and I have an amazing guest with me today. Her name is Irina Portnova, and Irina is a manifestation coach. She's the owner of Life Palette Coaching. She's a best-selling author, podcast host of Living in the Miracle, and she helps her clients live their best lives by filling the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. So we are going to dive right in because we have a lot to talk about. So welcome, Irina.
Thank you so much, Melinda. And it's such a pleasure and privilege to be the guest on your podcast. And I'm number one.
You
And
are?
it makes it even more exciting and super grateful for this opportunity. And let's just have a beautiful conversation.
Yes, yes. So you and I met in another group, and I'm going to be part of your upcoming summit, which starts May 8th, and it's called Supercharge Your Manifesting Powers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to have you on this podcast as I'm doing a relaunch and a rebrand with this podcast. And you are definitely someone who has had many experiences in terms of having a wake-up call, listening to your intuition, and following guidance. So I'd love if you start with the fact that you immigrated to New York City from the Ukraine in 1994, which wasn't that long ago. So you were, yeah.
Yesterday.
Share a little bit about that journey and what led you to come to the United States. Like, what was your wake-up call?
Thanks so much for this question. What led me is just the pursuit of happiness, to live in the country of possibilities, because in my country there were a lot of restrictions, and the economy wasn't doing great, and people are graduating from the universities and then they can't really have the jobs. So it was a different environment growing up. And my dad immigrated first with the family of his brother and his family, just to explore and see what it's look like, right? Just in case to be able to come back, if anything, because we had a pretty comfortable life. My both parents are engineers, and we were a middle-class family. So like when I always talk about my childhood, for the criteria of the country where I was raised, I was very, very comfortable. I had a very comfortable living. I wasn't experiencing any lack, because although we didn't have anything on the shelves in the stores, but my mom, being a chemical engineer, she used to travel a lot on the business trips to the major cities in St. Petersburg and Moscow in Russia. And she used to always buy things for me. So I never felt like I need anything. I was always dressed up. And it's interesting because for all these stores, there were like lines. So you can literally get into the line, but it didn't guarantee that you're going to be having enough of the whatever you are standing for, right? So just think about it, like when we go right now in the store in America, like everything is there. And the only choice we have to make, what do we actually want to pick? Over there, it was like just whatever they had. And if you want it, just stand online. And if you're lucky enough, you can have it. And imagine the joy people had. And I always say it's all within us, because it doesn't matter how poor or wealthy we are. It's all within us, how we feel, right? And how we can create the joy out of little things. So that was my way of, obviously my dad immigrated, and then in 3 years he was able to bring all of us there, my mom and my brother with the family, and that's how we started the life in US.
Wow, that's incredible. So your background even is just entrenched in gratitude for simple things.
Totally.
So when you
Yeah.
came here to the United States, did you feel like, well, tell me, like, how did you feel? Like we have so much. What was it like?
Totally. I came to United States and I was like all about dreams, right? And I went to college. And what I really discovered, Melinda, was that confidence is going to open the doors. And it's interesting. It's like, you know, like when you have that inner wisdom, it just comes to you without anybody telling you. What I was doing, I was just observing the people. And I remember when we just came in and I was studying the language in Manhattan, and we were in the university, and I'm looking at this, you know, women that walking confidently, you know, beautifully dressed. And I just looked and I said, one day I'm gonna be like that. So I already like put it in my head. And that's exactly what was leading me when I graduated college with an accounting degree. And when I landed my first job, I knew I'm not going to stay there for a long time, because the only way to increase my income was just moving a couple of years, every couple of years from one place to another. And I felt so confident because I said to myself, if anything, during these interviews, this is going to be a learning experience for me. And that's exactly how I was approaching. And the interesting part was even further, again, observation. Each workplace I was at, I was observant, and I realized that it's not about being smart, but it's about your self-image and how confident you are in your skin. Because even to land the job, you do not have to know everything, but you do present yourself in the way that people want to hire you, right? And once I learned that wisdom, I was like, okay, there is no limit to anything that we want to do. And again, I always wanted to have my own business, but at that point, I wasn't aware. Again, like majority of people who are living in the 3D world, I was looking at the outside. Okay, what is my background? What is my education? What can I truly do with that? But to open up an accounting services company wasn't like really lighting me up. So I was sitting, I was holding myself back, but that desire for something more was actually inside of me all the time.
Gotcha. Wow. And how old were you when you moved to the States?
20.
20. So yeah, you were an adult. That's what I figured. So, wow. So then fast forward to COVID, and tell me what happened then, because I think you had another wake up call in your life, in your journey.
So 6 years before that, 6 years before that, I had actually awakened to spirituality, because I was not raised as a religious person, because in our country, religion was prosecuted. And again, this was not something I was drawn to, but I wasn't aware about spirituality either. But 6 years ago, when I had the turbulence in my marriage, that was the time when it really shook me to the bones. And that was when I started to seek the answers. Why am I here? What am I here to do? And why things are happening with me, right? And that was the time when I really started to connect with esoteric, looking for the answers through astrology, through numerology. And I got really fascinating, because I did realize that just by our first name and date of birth, it's like a chip that's coded with the information. And once you receive that information, you'll be able to really live to your fullest potential, and you become more confident walking that path. And that's exactly what I was discovering, right? And then when pandemic hit, I lost my corporate job. And that was the time when I really, really started to think, what exactly is here for me to do? And I connected back to what I wanted to do, which is having my own business. Again, all I had, this is like relating to manifestation. At that moment, I wasn't aware that I was manifesting. All I just had is the image that I'm somewhere on a sandy beach, beautiful turquoise water, and all I have is my laptop, and I'm doing some kind of work. And it's funny how this picture just imprinted on my mind, because if you are on vacation, do you really work? Would you work, right? So the idea was that I had to love what I'm doing so much that for me, it wouldn't matter where I'm doing it, right? So I just kept that picture in my mind. And I was constantly coming back to that, right? Because manifestation is all starting in our thinking, right? It's all from our thoughts. So the more we connect with these thoughts, then we start see things that are actually opening up for us. And that's exactly what happened. Because my daughter, at the same time when she was in high school during pandemic, she lost the entire interest in the school. So she told me, Mom, I can't study from home. Hire me the therapist. And we didn't know of any therapist. And we reached out to the dance teacher. She was doing ballroom dance since she was 4. And I asked her, she said, I don't know any therapist, but I have this amazing girl. She is a life coach. And Melinda, that was the first time I heard the term of life coach. I'm like, who are these people? That's exactly like I always come back and say to people that it's never the lack of the resources in the universe, it's the lack of our awareness. Just because we do not know something, it doesn't mean it's not existent, right? So I searched online and I just got so drawn by the description of what these people are doing, and I just saw myself in it. And that's exactly how everything started to show up, because I also had the reading with the astrologer who specializes in a life purpose. And she told me, you have to teach on the massive scale. And I said, so maybe I have to enroll in some kind of speaking courses. And she said, no. She said, keep talking. And that's how you're gonna actually become more in tune with that. And that's exactly, I took her advice and I said, listen, how about life coach? She said, perfect. So my idea is when we have these insights based on our information, right? Based on our natal chart, it was related to astrology. You become even more confident. And no matter what obstacles come your way, no matter what failures, you know that you are on the right path. And you confidently walk in that path because you know that this is exactly what's for you.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. So when you lost your job, did you have any inkling that that was going to happen? Was there any type of little nudges there?
So interesting it was, because we were working for the transportation company. So when pandemic hit, right, we started to lose the business because less and less people were traveling, right? And it was already in the back of my mind. But it's funny because like I was planning to retire at that company because I was so comfortable, although I wanted my own business. But again, sometimes the universe just has to give us a kick if we don't really follow like the subtle signs. And that's exactly what happened, right? Because I knew exactly when we were called into our CEO office, I knew exactly what he was going to say at that moment. But still, it was still very shocking for me. And I remember I was not myself because like all sorts of questions just popped up. Like, what am I going to do next? And I know that a lot of people can relate because that uncertainty, that feeling of fear, like, what am I going to do now? Right? That's exactly what stopped a lot of people from going after something that they truly love. But for me, it was just, like there was no choice. Now I truly had the time to focus on myself and to discover what exactly am I here to do. But I also wanted to share the message that whatever happens in our life, even the adversity, whatever happens, there is a seed of good in anything what's going on, right? But the idea is at that moment, we do not see anything good about the situation. And a lot of times we are frantic, a lot of times we are panicky, a lot of times we are stressed, right? But when we already connected with that idea, that's what the inner work is all about, right? Once we work on yourself, we know exactly that there is a seed of good. And I might not see it right away. With the time, it's going to unfold. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Now, how would you suggest that people remind themselves that, right? Because everything you're saying is spot on. Been there myself. What I see out there is that people still go to fear so quickly, right? The sky is falling, Chicken Little. So what would you say to help someone out there? Because I also think this is like a big topic going on, right? That there's a lot of change
That's
happening, a lot of change.
Yes, great question, Melinda. So I have a couple of tools. First of all, there are two strongest emotions that we have. It's fear and love. So we either act from fear or we act from love. right? It's like the story about the two wolves. So one a little boy was sent to the forest by the older guy, and the older guy said, okay, go and fight, like the wolves. And the boy said, but what if I'm gonna lose and the wolf is gonna eat me up? And and the older guy said, listen, the one that you are feeding the most is gonna win. So we always have the choice to feed either into our fear, or we feed our faith or love, right? So when we connect with something what we love in our life, would I love more freedom? Would I love more financial blessing? Would I love more fulfillment, right? Would I love more happiness? So when we focus on love, we start seeing the possibilities, the opportunities are going to open up, right? But when we are constantly sitting in that fear, because understand, whatever we focus our attention on, the universe treats as our intention. And that's exactly what we are focusing on is going to expand. And obviously, it's a lot of inner work again with our mind, right? Because we have to train our mind muscle the same way as we would train our body. And we have to remind ourselves. So another good tool is just like having the conversation with the fear, knowing that fear is part of you, right? Just recognize and befriending it and say, hey, I know that you are there, but I'm not going to allow you to take the front seat. And just make an appointment. If that, fear rises up, just say, hey, I know you are here, but let's make an appointment at the end of the week. And by the time the end of the week is going to be, first of all, you're calming down yourself, your nervous system, right, at that moment. And then by the end of the week, the everything unfolds differently, and you already forgot about your fear, right?
Yeah.
And another good thing is just remind that fear is only in our mind. Whatever thoughts we are entertaining, it's only thoughts. It's not the reality. Right. People are tending to sit in the thoughts and just imagining the things, but they are not using their imagination to empower themselves to imagine a beautiful future. They'd rather imagine something bad, right? So invitation again is just, like, be more mindful what your thoughts are, because your thoughts are going to project the physical reality that you're creating.
Yeah, those are all beautiful. And I've heard that wolf story before. It's been a while, so thank you for bringing that up, because it's true. It's what you feed. It's as simple as that, people. It's what you feed. Like,
right.
So,
and it just a reminder. And you know what? I also have this mantra that everything is happening for my highest good.
Yes.
And I keep telling it whenever something not favorable happens in my life, I just say it in a firm way. I say everything is happening for my highest good, knowing that even though we do not see anything good at this situation, but the universe knows it. And when the time comes, everything is going to unfold in the most magical way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. I have almost the same mantra, and I do it before I do anything. So it kind of like sets the stage from an offense versus defense. So I'm like, nope, I'm not going to have, like, I don't want any traffic driving to Miami. So everything works out perfect for me on my drive, and it does. So that's so amazing.
And it's beautiful, Melinda, right? Like I always say that we are living in the magic, and miracles are always happening to us every day in every way if we are open to notice them.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about, because I don't even know, how did the summit piece of your business start to percolate as an idea and unfold? Give us the scoop on that.
Right. So again, it's all about our attention, right? And intentionality. As I'm in this business, I'm looking to upscale my business. And Summit came out like a great possibility for me to do that. And I was thinking, oh my God, because my vision around it, let's manifest together. Because a lot of people heard about manifestation, but they might try it. It didn't work for them. Some people are very skeptical, and some people want to up level whatever they manifested. They want to go on another level. So my vision was with this event is just to bring people together and collectively have these 28 experts who are going to be sharing their personal stories, how the manifestation play out in their part of life, as well as giving the tips, the tools, the techniques, because I want people to attend the event and leave from the event more confident, knowing that it works if we work it, and also have the tools and techniques that are going to propel them on a different level. Plus, each of the speakers is going to offer the free gift. So there are going to be so many awesome things, not only having listening to the interview of the speaker, but also reaching out to them if somebody resonates with you, because my vision is, okay, I don't care who you're going to be working with, but make sure you have somebody by your side, because this road is more enjoyable when you have the mentor, when you have the coach, and everything becomes more manageable, because we were all taught that we are good on our own, but that's not true. We are better together. Together we are superpower, because we are all one, right? So my vision is just to connect with that expert that really resonates with you, and you want to learn more, and you want to have somebody by your side and make this journey beautiful for yourself. So that's the whole idea around it. And obviously, I want my message to be heard on much bigger level, because that's my intention, right? To be more visible and be more in the space that people can actually tune in and understand that manifestation is true, because we always manifest.
Yes.
But a lot
Yes.
of people do unconsciously. Manifestation is just bringing from our thinking into our physical world, right?
Yes.
So a lot of times when people really want to know what they are thinking about, let them look at their life results, because their life results is the direct reflection of what they are thinking about.
Yes, yes. And thank you for bringing that up, because there's so much out there online, I'm sure you would agree, about manifestation. And manifestation's anything. Like, it can be as boring as a piece of paper. So like, we want to zhuzh it up. So that's what you're trying to do. But yeah, a lot of people, like, they hear that word and they don't really even understand, that.
Right.
So I appreciate that you added a little more context to that. Thank you.
Yes. And it's just like, I'm so fascinated, because everything is energy, right? When people are asking me, like, how do you know that this is truly work and this is not just, like a scam, or just, like a luck that some people experiences, but other don't, right? And I say, because it's all energetic work. Everything is energy. We are energetic being, right? If we take out our bones, if we take out our skin, all it is the pure energy. And we are the ones to know how to direct it and what to create, because being the human, we actually can command our brain to do the work that we want to work. And that's exactly what differentiates us from any other species in the world.
Yes, yes, yeah. And the emotional piece, which goes into that too. So that's amazing. So, well, I'm excited for your summit. And yeah, 28, and this is releasing on the 28th. So you and your numerology, girl. That's awesome.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, that's very cool. Anything else that you feel we didn't cover that you wish to share? I'll obviously put all the information in the show notes, but feel free.
Yes. Just, for somebody who never dealt with manifestation, give it a try, because it's all about staying open, right? Because a lot of people deny something that they do not know. And I always invite, okay, first try and then decide for yourself, right? And then you're going to be more clear and saying, you know what? I tried it, I tested it. This is not something I love. And, I'm just going to close that book, right? But the more open we are, the more we are going to receive. So I invite everybody to stay in the receiving energy. And rather than having the to-do list, have to-be list. Who do I want to be today? How am I going to show up in this world? What value can I add, right? Because it's interesting how the law of circulation always works, because whatever you are giving out there, you are receiving it, right? So give people some compliments, because we all love to be praised. We all love to hear good words, because we were not trained this way. We were not raised this way. We know that we are our worse self-critiques, right? So we want at least from somebody to hear the word of support, to understand that this is exactly what we are doing. This is exactly what we have in our life. And we know that we can encourage each other, we can support each other. And that's exactly my messages for everybody.
Yeah, no, amazing way to close this out. If I had a mic drop. So, no, but it's true, like being open, and yes, we're co-creating with the universe. However, the universe may have something better in mind for you. So, to what Irina said, be open because you don't know. So, yeah.
Right. And come to the event. You'll see Melinda, you'll see me, and you'll see so many amazing experts. I also have my workshop if anybody wants to attend to figure out what that manifestation is all about. And reach out to me on the links and see how we can support each other on this beautiful path. Because like I said, you do not have to feel alone because we are all in it together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a guest on this new podcast. I really appreciate it. Everyone out there, thank you so much for being here as well. If you like this podcast, please share it. And if you're watching it on YouTube, I would love a subscription, like, and a comment. It just helps the channel and it helps get the word out, because then the algorithm will pick up information about this summit and Irina and be able to share more of this light. So I just really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you
so much, Melinda. It was a pleasure. And everybody, happy manifestation. Just remember, you are a powerful manifester. And let's create your life every day in every way.
Amazing. Love it. Bye, everyone.
Bye.